Today, we're not only living longer, but we also want quality of life. Instead of retirement being a time to slow down, our first guests say it's a time to rev things up. The Buckingham is celebrating 20 years of excellence and elegance. They've been reinventing senior living. Residents have the freedom to travel, stay active, and build meaningful connections with all levels of care under one roof. Joining us with details on the Aspire program is Philip Taylor with the Buckingham and Mike and Caps Jameson. Their world got bigger when they moved to the Buckingham. And let me start with, a lot of times people think their world is getting smaller, dwindling down. Yours got bigger. In what way?
We ended up meeting more interesting people than, and when we went into the community, it was so open and warm, and everybody was, you know, it was like a large community inside the Buckingham itself.
Yeah, you had instant new friends, right?
Instant, absolutely.
Yeah,
instant.
because for a lot of seniors, they may the walls kind of close in. You stay at home, and indoors, you're not going to meet anybody. And for you, your honeydew list got a lot smaller.
Absolutely. And I made a killing on that lawnmower that I sold. I'm telling you.
In fact, you were saying you have an air conditioner problem, no problem. You have a whatever problem, no problem, because it's not your problem
It's
anymore.
not our problem.
Yeah, all right. Philip, what did you know about senior living before you got into the business of senior living? Because I think a lot of us, especially in a certain generation, had this idea of the stereotypical nursing home.
Well, I was in the business for 15 years where I traveled a lot, but was not in this industry. Right. And a friend called me to say, I think you were born for this industry. And so when that happened, you know, I didn't know much about it actually. Right. And so when that took place, you know, I've been in the industry now for 10 years, and it is, you know, not stepping down into something, it's stepping into something much bigger. I was I was reluctant, you know, to make the move because I went from traveling to, oh, now I'm going to be in an office all day. And that has opened up a new world for me that has been probably the most rewarding 10 years of my career.
Yeah, just like they said, they were introduced to all these new friends. You were too, because they're friends too, and the staff. You feel like one big family.
Exactly. I mean, going through the process of helping somebody to decide to move in, like working with these guys, I've known them for almost 4 years now, and we were great friends before they even made a decision to come to the Buckingham.
Yeah.
And then they've had the time of their lives the last 3.5 years.
Give us the lay of the land of the Buckingham when people walk in the doors.
Well, when you mentioned our 20-year anniversary, it is elegant, and there's a lot of excellence. But the excellence and the elegance is in the people.
Yeah, there's a people, there's a place too. Because look how pretty this is.
Yeah,
this is so peaceful.
When you walk in the front door of the lobby, you automatically are seeing just a lot of luxury. But what you have behind the luxury is a bunch of kind people.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of sharing and caring and love and laughter. And it has, for me as a career, it's a quality of life upgrade to be a part of it.
And I think I saw some wine in that video too. I saw that.
Could have been.
Yeah, could have been. Could have been. All right. The other thing for family members who are helping their loved ones to actually move into the Buckingham, you have 24-hour security. It's a gated community. The amenities can be like the putting green, the heated outdoor pool. Have y'all been to that yet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's like, yeah, yes, we have. All right. Walking trails, courtyards, gardens, all within that one place. The other thing that I find so important is that you have all levels of care. Take us through those levels of care.
Well, people are coming to live in independent living, knowing that eventually they may need that care. In fact, people who might be watching the show, people that might have an incident happen in their life where they may have a hospital stay. There's all kinds of people coming to the Buckingham for our short-term rehab.
Yeah. Instead of having to go someplace else. Like you could come out of the hospital, this happened with my mom at another place, came out of the hospital, then having to go someplace else for the rehab and then come back home.
Right.
Well, you can be back home. The other thing that's so important about this is I could not imagine how scary it could be that once you've already made the decision to move there, that's your new home, and then all of a sudden someone says, oh, your health condition has changed, you're going to have to go someplace else. That's confusing and scary. And so you want to be, call that your forever home, if you will.
Right. We have assisted living. We have skilled nursing, long-term care. My mom has Alzheimer's, so I'm living that with her.
Right.
And so it's nice when you make that transition and you know that your parent is happy.
Right.
And they feel loved and they feel cared for. And that's what we're in the business of doing. Is there's a big life going on in independent living, but it doesn't stop.
Right.
Because Aspire and the activities that we do is to keep everybody moving.
Yeah.
We have
And the other thing I think is so important too is because they're in a community that if you notice things like like if you notice that maybe a resident's not eating as much as they were before, or they're not making sense like they did before,
Yes.
that's an important thing,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Yeah.
So
it is.
And it's something that can come from staff, but it also could be something that just because you're talking to people that you may notice with a
That's
friend.
right. That's right.
Yeah, so, all right, you mentioned the amenities. Okay, it's a comprehensive lifestyle program. You engage socially, intellectually, physically, and spiritually. You have a culinary team for complete wellness because, as we know, nutritious food becomes even more important. You foster that sense of purpose. You have like field trips and things that come up. And her eyes was lit up because there's a couple that y'all met from Europe who you're like hanging out with now, friends with. But there's someone else who, is that the couple that owns like a...
The vineyard. They own
yeah.
a vineyard. In fact, we just went last week, Friday, and it was wonderful. The bluebonnets, and then the lunch and everything else. She's a fabulous cook.
Yeah. Would you say you're almost doing more now than you were before?
Yes, I would say so. We have more options.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That, and I think it's different. It's different.
Well,
Thanks.
one of the reasons, one of the reasons that we did it is exactly what we're talking about, is one-stop shopping, basically. And we had watched, I'll let you tell the story about our in-law.
We had watched
about
our
kids.
daughter and son-in-law go through it with my son-in-law's parents, and we didn't want to put our children through that.
What kinds of problems were coming up?
Well, they were in a house over 40 years old, and it was falling apart, and they were unable to take care of it. He had Parkinson's and she had dementia, and so, yeah.
And you have to trust the people who are coming to the house and all that type of stuff to help.
And it was very scary, and they were very angry about having to move, and we didn't want our kids to have to go through that.
Yeah. How would you suggest sitting down, like you all were easy, but how would you suggest sitting down and talking to parents about maybe time to move? I know it was tough for my mom. My dad would be like, yeah, let's move anywhere, whatever, where are we going, right? But how would you suggest bridging that conversation?
Well, we know that our toughest competition is their home.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we do, I think, is very effective is when we are showing them apartments that they are going to have to make a decision on. They have to downsize, but the generosity of our residents is so deep that when people who have already moved in, we do remodeling on the apartments, they add their customization to the apartments. So we will take them to our residents' homes so they'll be able to see that they can actually take their home where they live and they can pick it up and move it to the Buckingham.
And take the things that are most
That's
meaningful
right.
to them. Yeah.
Yes.
Oftentimes in situations like this, women outnumber the men.
Yes.
You have your husband with you, but you all make an effort to also wrap your arms around the single women.
Oh, yes. There's not a stranger in the Buckingham. There truly isn't. We embrace everybody. We're so excited that they come, and sometimes I think we almost overwhelm them because everybody's asking them to come and have dinner with you or join this club or come play bridge, whatever.
Yeah.
So.
And another thing is, I remember going to visit my grandma when I was little, and going to that place was scary, right? This place is not scary. In fact, the grandkids are like, hey, y'all go ahead and go home. We're staying with Gramps, right?
Yeah, well,
It is not depressing like
No.
like
Our
you think of in the old days.
Yeah, our children, when we went in, they were really upset. Both of them had tears in their eyes. They said, this is not time. When they went through the Buckingham, they went, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, because they can come and stay. You also have like guest suites where they can come. They can come anytime, holidays, all that type of stuff.
Can.
Yeah. How many times do you get people a week who stop by and say, yes, I'm interested in getting a place here, who don't realize it's a retirement center?
We have that, we get at quite a bit. But one of the things that we add to what we've been talking about is, in some cases where they are reluctant to leave home, what we will do is give them a little bit of a soft launch. In other words, for the kids and for you, before I even talk to the parent, is to tell the kids, bring them here because our culinary team is so fantastic.
Yeah.
Is to come into this beautiful restaurant. The food is awesome. Y'all as a family just come and enjoy a meal. You're taking them out to eat.
Yeah,
And
because
when
you
they
can see how great
when
the
they-
food is, but you see the atmosphere and
yes.
how people
Right.
are enjoying their lives. All right. The Buckingham is holding a community tour open house next week. It's happening Monday through Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. They're opening their doors to show what's changed in the last 20 years. You can also call for a private tour if another time is better for you. Their phone number is 713-597-7694. Again, it's 713-597-7664. You can also visit their website, buckinghamhouston.com. Get rid of that honey-do list.